Mexico, me in the United States, deserve to have our support for their desire for the universal call of freedom. That case is playing out in the Middle East today, where authoritarian regimes are falling and failing across the region. Now, authoritarian regimes are not stable because of what I call the Ceausescu moment. Nicolae Ceausescu was the dictator of Romania. And in 1989, with revolution sweeping across Eastern Europe, in Poland and Czechoslovakia and Hungary, at a time when I was lucky enough to be the White House Soviet specialist at the end of the Cold War, Ceausescu went into a square in Bucharest, and he was talking to the Romanians about all he'd done for them. And suddenly, one old lady yelled at him, "Liar." And then 100 people were yelling "liar" at this dictator, and then 1,000 people and 100,000 people. And all of a sudden, Ceausescu turned to try to run, because he knew that he had lost people, his people. And he ran, but the young military officer delivered him instead to the revolution, and he and his wife, Yelena, were executed. You see, that moment that every authoritarian fears is when the only thing that stands between an authoritarian and his people, fear, breaks down. And all that is left is anger. And across the world, people are no longer fearful to advocate for their rights. They are no longer fearful to claim their freedoms. They are no longer afraid to say, it is time for us to enjoy liberty. We are watching that in the Middle East. We are watching it in Africa. We are seeing it in Asia. Just as it swept through our continent, the Western Hemisphere, 2 decades ago. But the work of building democracy is actually very hard work. It's hard work because freedom and democracy are not the same thing. In order to have stable democracies, you have to have citizens who are willing to exercise their responsibility to protect and defend and to be a part of that democracy. Now, here in the Western Hemisphere, here in Mexico, the institutions of democracy have been growing for more than 2 decades.